Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a nonprofit pledges to give survivors of the Western Kentucky tornado outbreak some major assistance, and the Commonwealth prepares to see some funding in order to help clean up the environment.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good Thursday morning to you. It's just before 5 o'clock here. I'm Dakota Makris. Good morning to you. And we continue our severe weather alert day coverage with Brandon Robinson. We issued that yesterday at 4. And Brandon, it was windy yesterday, but now those warnings are starting to ramp up today.
Exactly. We've got some new alerts to pass along to you from overnight. We'll do that in main weather, but let's see where we are right now when it comes to the forecast. We take a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar. You already see some rain in the distance, but here is the thing. This is going to come in waves today. We'll zoom out to the state view. This is just the beginning. You're going to see some pockets of heavy rain coming through at times, but that main line won't be here till tonight. But in front of that, a lot of wind, so we're going to keep an eye on that for today. Temperatures much warmer this morning, mid to upper 50s and low 60s. Some 40s out there down toward Middlesboro, but that is it. At 5 o'clock in the morning, it is in the 50s and 60s most of the areas. And then we head into the temperature change from this time yesterday. It was 20 to 30 degrees warmer yesterday than the day before. It's 15 degrees warmer in some areas, or close to it there, today from yesterday. 30 degrees warmer in Ashland this morning. We're already seeing wind gusts of 20 to 30 plus miles per hour, and it's only going to get worse as the day goes on. You can download that WYMT weather app to track it along with us. I do think we see a mix of partly to mostly cloudy skies for the first part of the day. Showers will start to pick up after lunchtime, and those storms will start to roll in here as we head deeper into the afternoon. Dakota?
All right, Brennan, thank you so much. Well, the Kentucky Senate passed a bill yesterday to stop transgender girls from competing on girls' sports teams. Now, the Senate passed the bill with the provision to use an athlete's birth certificate to determine the team they're eligible for. It also passed with an amendment limiting the bill's reach to grades 6 through 12. The bill was passed shortly after parents, students, and Governor Andy Beshear spoke at a fairness rally where many in attendance spoke against Senate Bill 28. The House has its own version of the bill, which is still being considered by a committee before a full House vote. Well, yesterday, the state capitol rotunda hosted the annual statewide fairness rally for LGBTQ rights. Now, the rally focused on several of those issues, such as barring licensed therapists from engaging in conversion therapy practices. The governor spoke at the rally, pushing to ban discrimination against LGBTQ people who live and work here in the Commonwealth.
In so many Kentucky cities, Kentuckians can still be fired, denied housing, or kicked out of a public space just because who they are. That is not how we treat our neighbors on Team Kentucky, and I fully support a statewide fairness ordinance that will protect all our people under the law.
Well, the governor says 2 years ago, 14 Kentucky cities have passed a fairness ordinance. Now that number has increased to 23. Yesterday, Habitat for Humanity announced a $27 million disaster recovery initiative to help Western Kentucky tornado victims. The main focus will be providing shelter through the construction of 100 new homes and doing critical repairs on 300 others. The entire effort is expected to take 36 months, but organizers say availability of materials and labor could shift that timeline. A cleanup could be coming to a well near you. Millions of Americans live near abandoned fossil fuel wells across the country. The federal government is throwing billions of dollars at the program. The wells release unhealthy emissions that seep into the air or local groundwater, wreaking havoc on the surrounding environment. Adam Peltz from the Environmental Defense Fund says the federal money will put people to work on making these areas safe again.
Tens of thousands of oil field service workers will be out over the next several years plugging and remediating.
Kentucky will receive almost $104 million in federal funding to help clean up abandoned oil and gas wells throughout the state. Kentucky Public Service Commission approved a rate increase for the water district in Martin County. The Lexington Herald later says Martin County Water District customers will see a change on their bills beginning April 1st. Water districts are directing customers who are having difficulties paying their bills to assistance organizations like the Big Sandy Area Community Action Program. AppHarvest says 34 people were recently let go. The company says this is part of a move to expand its farm network and focus on production. It is expected to open more farms this year and add about 550 jobs. Last month, the ag tech company projected net sales from last year in the $9 million range. Well, Western Kentucky University announced a record-breaking retention rate for the first time for first-year students. Overall, 90.9% of first-year students who were enrolled at WKU for the fall semester returned to campus this spring. Now, this is nearly a 5% increase in just a little more than 4 years and a 2% increase from last year. WKU's Assistant Vice President for Student Success says these numbers represent how hard everyone has been working.
Faculty, staff, and students have all been working towards our strategic plan and really wanting to see increased persistence and retention rates of our students. And really this is kind of showing that for everyone that we've accomplished a lot over the last couple of years.
WKU's President Tim Caboni says students leave higher education for a number of reasons, including financial difficulties and lack of support. Now, he says university has worked hard to address these concerns. Well, officials say Pikeville's 2nd Street project is a bit ahead of schedule. This week, the first intersection was finished on 2nd Street and Division Street, and now the project has moved a bit farther and workers are now at the Grace Avenue intersection. City Manager Phil Belswick says the project has been going very smoothly and is on schedule to be finished before 2022's Hillbilly Days Festival in April.
Assuming the weather goes well, it'll be around the Hillbilly Days. I feel like we may be a little ahead of schedule, but you know, we're in the midst of the winter, so it's hard to say what may happen. But I think it'll be right around the time of the festival.
Well, Ellswick also says he hopes the project is finished by Hillbilly Days because it'll add a bit of beauty before the festival returns for the first time since 2019. Well, thank you so much for getting your Thursday morning started with us. Coming up next, a teen boy across the pond dreams about joining his sister in the record books while flying in the sky.
The big story today is the approaching cold front. I'll have more on what we could see later in about 3 minutes.